All right, today we're going to tackle a massive problem in how we all deal with information. We're going to take a task that normally takes days, literal days of hard research, and we're going to compress it into a beautiful presentation-ready visual in under 90 seconds. We're going to use two specific tools to do it, and the second one has a feature that I promise you most people don't even know exists. You're going to want to stick around for that because it is an absolute game changer. Okay, let's put this in perspective. 40 hours. That is an entire work week. That's what it typically takes for a skilled person, a researcher, a strategist, you name it, to really go deep, pull together dozens of different sources, and make sense of it all in one single, coherent summary. I mean, that is a huge amount of brain power and effort. And then there's this. 90 seconds. That is the AI processing time to do the exact same job. Now, we're not just talking about a little bit faster here. The jump in efficiency is it's off the charts. It's non-linear. This is the scale of the change we're about to walk through. So, what's the real problem we're trying to solve here? Well, it's not that we don't have enough information, right? We're practically drowning in it. The real bottleneck, the thing that slows everything down, is human bandwidth, our limited ability to process all of that noise effectively. And that quote right there, it just nails it. The whole point of these AI tools isn't just to be clever, it's to fix that exact failure. The workflow we're looking at today uses two systems specifically to compress that complex research, turning hours of heavy mental lifting into just a few seconds of pure computation. All right, let's get into the first system. This is NotebookLM from Google, and you can think of it as your own personal research assistant. Its main job is brutally efficient. It just ingests and indexes raw data. You don't have to read everything first, you just aggregate. You feed it total chaos, and its job is to find the hidden structure. And the process itself is dead simple. You just click Create New, you pick your source, say a YouTube URL, you copy the link, paste it right into the field, and then you click Insert. And right away, the system starts to not just read the information, but to index it and get it ready for analysis. And this is where the magic really starts to happen. I mean, getting the data in is one thing, but synthesis, that's where you unlock the real value. The system now shifts gears from just holding a bunch of messy data to actually creating structured, useful outputs from it. And you can ramp up the complexity really fast. We can go from analyzing a single video to throwing in multiple sources all at once. Blog posts, white papers, market reports, you name it. The neural network inside starts mapping all the connections between these separate data points, so it actually understands the context before you even ask it a single question. But what's really cool is that the system doesn't even need you to give it the sources. Instead of feeding it data, you can just give it a topic. With a simple prompt like this one, you can kick off a deep research task and just tell the AI to go out and find the best sources itself. And the scale of this is just wow. To answer that one simple prompt, the AI went out and found, ingested, and analyzed 44 different web sources to build its research doc. That is a mountain of work, and it did it in seconds. So once that synthesis is done, the data isn't just locked up. Over on the right-hand side, in what they call the studio section, you can take all that structured knowledge and with a single click, turn it into all these different formats. For what we're doing today, we're going to focus on turning it into a presentation-ready infographic. Okay, so from here, we pivot. This is where we bring in our second system, Google Gemini, their multimodal AI. Now, this isn't a replacement for NotebookLM. Think of it more like a specialist tool you bring in to refine and visualize the output for a very specific audience. And remember that trick I told you about at the beginning? Yeah, this is where it happens. This chart kind of lays it all out. NotebookLM does all the heavy lifting, right? It's the one that dives into the chaos of dozens of sources and finds the structure. Gemini is all about precision. It takes that structured information and lets you control the final output with incredibly targeted generation. So we start in Gemini with a pretty general prompt. We just take the info we got and ask for an infographic. And you'll notice the prompt is kind of broad. It says it's for students, but it leaves the style and the format pretty open to whatever the AI thinks is best. Okay, now watch the second iteration. This is the key. This is how you really master these tools. We refine the prompt with two tiny changes. We get more specific with the audience, software engineering students, and, this is crucial, we specify an aspect ratio of 9:16, perfect for vertical video. And just like that, those tiny changes give us a completely different, totally platform-optimized result. That is iterative control, and it's how you go from a generic image to a bespoke, custom asset. So after all that, what's the final verdict? Well, we've taken an incredibly complex cognitive workflow, all the way from raw research to a finished visual, and we have compressed it almost entirely. The result is just a massive, nonlinear leap in efficiency. Let's just look at the raw numbers here. Synthesizing 44 sources, a task that takes about 40 hours for a person, was done in under 60 seconds. And creating a polished infographic from that research, which would normally take a designer 3 to 4 hours, was finished in less than 30 seconds. And this is really the main takeaway. What we've just seen isn't some clever productivity hack or a little shortcut. No, this is a fundamental and, I think, inevitable evolution of how knowledge work itself gets done. That bottleneck of human effort, it is being systematically engineered away. Which, of course, leaves us with a really critical question. When all the heavy lifting of research and synthesis becomes totally automated, what skill takes its place? What does a knowledge worker even do when the hardest part of the job is no longer finding the right answer, but asking the perfect question?